And so now our next guest, I'm really thrilled to bring her to the stage. She is Heidi Garis, and she is a former psychotherapist turned energy psychology therapist. We're talking multidimensional beings, multidimensional universe, the power of energy, vibration. She's an intuitive energy healer and trauma specialist. Heidi combines all of her magic to help high achievers and spiritually oriented leaders not only create their next level of success, but more importantly, discover and live into their highest self so they can experience true happiness, deep fulfillment, and authentic abundance. She holds a master's degree in clinical social work, is an advanced certified EFT practitioner, tap, 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 certified transformational breathwork facilitator, and holds multiple certifications in coaching, bodywork, and energy healing. She is an Akashic Records Master Consultant and teacher. We're going to talk, Heidi, about that, and is currently pursuing her Ph.D. in metaphysical counseling psychology. You can often find her in the middle of a lake on her paddleboard, balancing rocks in her Zen garden, or curled up at home with one hand on her sweet rescue pup from China and the other posing as a perch for her grumpy adolescent parrot. Gertrude, put your hands together and help me welcome Heidi to the stage. Hello.
Hello, Wendy.
So good to be with you.
Wonderful to be here.
Thank you for this work. Let's dive in. So, EFT,
Yes.
Such a great modality.
Fantastic. Transformational.
Yes. Yes. Would you take us through a tapping?
Sure, I'd love to.
Okay, great.
I'd love to. So,
Awesome.
What would our target be?
Releasing self-doubt and embodying your influence, your power, your inner authority.
Okay. All right. Okay. Fantastic. All right. So, for anybody on the line, maybe you just want to measure where you are with feeling your self-trust, or maybe you want to measure your self-doubt. It's always nice to start knowing where we start, and then we can see where we end. Okay, see if you feel a little bit better. So I usually use a scale of 0 to 10, but how you can even just notice where you might feel it in your body. Okay. All right. So just follow what I do and repeat what I say. And if you would like to change the words on your end, you're certainly welcome to. Okay, so we're just going to dive in. I'm not even going to explain it for people who don't know. We're just going to go.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're going to start tapping on the side of the hand here. And you can just repeat after me. Okay. All right. Even though I sometimes doubt myself and I don't have a lot of self-trust, or when I go beyond my comfort zone, I tend to question myself. I accept who I am and how I feel anyway. Even though I want to be a leader, and I already am a leader, but sometimes self-doubt creeps in. I choose to love myself anyway and release this self-doubt. Okay, all right. Now we're going to tap through different points on our body. We'll start at the eyebrow. Okay. This self-doubt. And then the side of the eye. Sometimes I doubt myself. Under the eye. But I want to be an embodied leader. Under the nose. And I want to have influence on the people I come into contact with. I have a mission and a purpose. And I want to be heard. And I want to feel comfortable being seen. This is under the arm here. Yeah, yeah. Yep. And then top of the head. But the self-doubt scrambles my brain. And then back to the eye. I'm willing to release this self-doubt. And then side of the eye. I'm willing to let go of the old stories that I'm not enough. And then under the eye. I'm willing to release it from the cells of my body. Under the nose. And from all levels of me. And I'm willing to come into a new knowing of who I truly am. Yeah. And reclaim that original confidence. Yeah. And then top of the head. That was instilled in me when I was created. Okay. So deep breath. Woo.
So thank you for that. And people in the comments section, let us know, how do you feel? Do you feel different? EFT is such a wonderful modality that you can do anywhere. I'm feeling energy flooding through my body as we're speaking.
Yeah, that's what it does. It helps to relieve any disruptions in the energetic system. And when we do that, beliefs can shift and we can heal from trauma. We can release emotion. So that was really just a real quick round, and so I'm glad that you're feeling already some energy surging through. Sometimes we need to get to the original memories to create the deeper change, but sometimes people will yawn even with a quick round, and or like you, they feel the energy. They feel the energy surging. So
yeah. I love it. My parasympathetic nervous system comes online. I'm like, okay.
All right, it's time to relax.
Yes. I love that you do all this work. It's such powerful work to be able to be doing the work that you're doing, the healing trauma and the EFT work, and then the Akashic Records.
Oh my goodness.
Let's talk about, what are the Akashic Records and why is it helpful for us to go to them?
Great. The Akashic Records are, it is the energy of everything that has ever been. It is, we call it a library that stores the blueprint of your soul. So everything that you have ever done or thought or said, every lifetime that you've lived has been recorded in this energetic library. And so we can access the records. We have our own personal Akashic guides, and oh my goodness, my guides, I fill up with love every time we connect. And so they can give us information that we're looking for. They can help us through the information that we receive. We can heal past lifetimes. It's not the only way, but it's a really, really wonderful way, because it has the entire story. And we're not always shown the entire story at once. Like, the guides will meet out the information as is needed, but we can get guidance as to when to launch a program, or to how to heal a certain thing, or what to do about a certain situation. And it really puts us in touch with, again, that the person that we were created to be, and guides us in our purpose. So that's just a little bit of what the records are.
I love the Akashic Records. So when I got certified as a hypnotherapist many years ago, and I was taught past life regressions, I was taken to the Akashic Records.
Oh, wonderful.
And so I have a real vision. And as you were talking, I was kind of being transported back to, the Akashic Records. And something that I'm curious about, because one of my teachers is I went through lots of training with Lisa Williams, who is the psychic medium, spiritual teacher. And Lisa talked about you can, with permission from your soul, if it is appropriate, you can shift, you can rechange let's say, a pattern.
Oh, for sure. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's one way. The guides that there's so many different ways to do it within the records, but absolutely, we can change pattern. We can change um, um, the beliefs that we hold. Just like with tapping, it's another. I don't want to say modality, but it's another avenue that we can create transformation in this lifetime with.
It's beautiful.
Mhm.
What led you to do this work? This is soul work,
This is
right?
soul work.
You're trained as a psychotherapist, and oh my gosh, to have a psychotherapist who's also trained and activating the spiritual
Right,
is so it's the way. To me, that's the way
right.
to healing, to really transforming one's life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel very blessed that I have that platform. It
Yeah,
informs what I do. It's psychotherapy is not what I do anymore, but it
yeah.
certainly informs what I do. So what led me to this overall work? I think was my own journey, right? I was as a baby, I was given up for adoption and was adopted into a beautiful family, but my soul had an ache
Mhm.
for my mother. So it's appropriate maybe to bring this up because of this the theme in this weekend of the awakened heart. And so for my life, my whole life, my heart's been crying out. And I was brought up in a traditional church, and so I was very spiritual. But in my world travels, I realized that God is bigger than a structure of rules or a certain
Mhm.
paradigm. God is so much bigger. And so in the search for my own healing, I was shown tapping, and that helped in one area. But it's somewhere along the line, I really began to feel this soul's calling to merge everything together. And I think it probably happened when I found my birth mother and actually met her. And so it's hard to know exactly the why of things, but it was around that same time that I found her. It's so interesting you asked the question because I never put that together before. But in healing there, I was really drawn to help the whole of the person, not just the beliefs and the fears and the this lifetime, but the whole of the person,
Mm.
and to help them come into this this communion with the divine and to know ourselves as a spark of the divine, right? As a child who was given up, um, I grew up feeling unlovable and unworthy, and there's something wrong with me and I don't matter. And so part of that was healed in meeting my mom, right? My birth mother. But there
Right.
was so much more to be done. And so yeah, so the spiritual part of things really helped to seal the deal there.
That's so
Yeah.
beautiful. And it's so congruent with what we're talking about.
Mm.
Permission to embody your influence and create a
Yes.
powerful
Yes.
legacy.
Yes, because when we don't know who we are, when we don't know the truth of that, when it's covered up
Mhm.
with the wounds of life, this life and the past lives, we can't really see. We don't
Yeah.
have the vantage point to see God's vantage point of us. We can't see that. And
Yes.
so, right. So my
Yes.
path to the awakening and everything is through the healing.
Are you still in relationship with your birth mom?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I was just writing her a note before I jumped on. It's been a wonderful journey to meet her, and I've met my birth father as well. So it's
Wow.
yeah, yeah. She always wanted me. I just didn't know. I just didn't know. Right? Yeah.
That's remarkable, isn't it?
Hmm.
I mean, when you think about she always wanted you. She always wanted you.
She always wanted me, and I didn't know that. For probably the turmoil in her, and then the immediate separation of her after birth, she never got to see me or hold me or anything. Um, Planted seeds in my little heart that I was unwanted, and
Mm.
so that was the framework that I grew up with, in all in the background, right? Because I had a beautiful family that loved me and that accepted me, but underneath it all, there was that yuck building up, and
It's
you know,
That's
yeah.
so healing. Many years ago, I took a few singing lessons. I love to sing. I love music. And I was with a woman who was forced at age 16. She got pregnant
Oh,
and she was forced, she was from, I believe, a New England town, and she was forced to give up her baby probably I don't believe she ever got to hold her baby. And
Mhm.
it was such a soul wound for her. And she, at the time that I knew her, she had reached out to her son. And she also gave me a book because I was dating a guy who had been, who was adopted. And she recommended the primal wound because there were these issues that were coming up, and she asked me, is he's adopted? And I said yes, and so it was really fascinating to see what she went through.
Mm-hmm.
She was in this traditional puritanical, it was a shame. It was a shame that this happened.
Right. Right.
And she was when I met her, I think she was in her, I want to say mid to late 40s,
Okay.
attempting to have a relationship with her son.
Mm.
Yeah.
I give her all the credit for reaching out, because the birth moms are, the wound for them too is just tragic. My brother's also adopted,
Oh, wow.
and and different parents, but he hasn't come to a place in his life where he wants to have anything to do with her. He
Oh,
feels so rejected, and his response was anger and, well, if you reject me, I'm going to reject you.
of
And
course.
interestingly enough, he has heart issues, right? Heart issues that they haven't been able to fix, no matter how many procedures or surgeries or whatever. That it should be able to be fixed, but it isn't. And yeah. So he was wounded, and so we don't know how he would have reacted if his mother had reached out to him, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but I think for many of us, from the adoptees I've talked to, we want to be wanted, and I think underneath it, my brother would too. I think
Yeah.
if he got below the
Right.
defenses there,
Yeah.
he wants to be loved and to know that he was wanted.
Yes.
So yeah, but for the mother is absolutely a soul
Yeah.
wound. And I remember when I first called. In fact, I had a friend call her. I had the information and I was sitting on it, and I was afraid to reach out. Um, but we did, and my girlfriend called for me. I was standing there, and she was dumbfounded, and it didn't take her long to reach back. She needed a moment to process.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the next day, though, she did call and say, yes, I want to meet. I want to have a relationship, and I've always wanted you. Yeah. So from there, it's just blossomed.
That's so healing.
Hmm.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
such a beautiful, beautiful experience, a beautiful life journey that adds to the work that you do. I mean, everything that happens to us informs
for
the work
sure.
that we do, informs every relationship, because
Absolutely.
it's that connection, that heart to heart connection. So
Mhm.
to a great extent, you remothered yourself.
Yeah. Yes, I did. And the people that I worked with to
Yes, of
help with the
course.
healing. But yeah, the reparenting is extremely important. I think
Yeah.
for all of us who are coaches or healers or therapists, that is part of the process of working with our clients.
Hmm.
That
Absolutely.
unconditional love, that unconditional acceptance, that place of non-judgment, is so important and is what we all need. And isn't
Hmm.
that right? Isn't that what the divine holds for us too? Just
Hmm.
a space of love,
Absolutely.
and
Yes.
total acceptance.
Yes. Which is, right, permission, the permission
Hmm. Yes. Yeah.
to embody your wholeness,
Right.
your being, your influence. And the
Mhm.
word influence is often sometimes misperceived as that viral, that social media. I'm an
Right.
influencer,
Influencer. Right.
right? I'm an
Right.
influencer. But it's that who you are is a divine expression of the Most High, and you have influence. Like what you say, what you think goes out, right?
1,000%. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. And as mothers, it's so important that we recognize that we do have influence, just because just
Yes.
who we're being influences our children. It doesn't matter what
Yeah.
we say. I mean, it matters what we say, but
Right.
who we're being. the energy
Yes.
that we're holding, the love that we have for ourselves, the priority that we make ourselves, right? Of course, we're
Yeah.
going to sacrifice for our kids because we do. That's part of love. We sacrifice them but we don't want to over sacrifice, right? So
Mhm.
our influence, the mirror that we are for our children is so important. And so sometimes, honestly, sometimes mothers come to me because their kids, they're having trouble with their kids. So the path for their healing is through the children. So sometimes that's the door we have to take. This will help your children. If you help to heal yourself, this will help your children. Right?
100 gazillion million trillion percent, right? And it reminds me of, you said who you be, right? So I'm certain you know this from your training, but when you're in your mother's womb,
Yeah.
you're getting the lineage transmitted. And I learned
Yeah.
recently that your grandmother's eggs are inside of you, your
Oh,
grandmother,
that's crazy. That's
right?
crazy.
So we carry, that's why the work that you do, and being trauma informed and knowing how to address trauma is so important,
Yeah.
because it's not conscious. It's not like you wake up, like we do conscious work,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why trauma work is so amazing, and this work of the EFT and also the
Mm-hmm.
Akashic Records,
Yeah.
because one can literally, I know, I'll speak for myself, healing myself for so long, working on myself, doing all these modalities, and practices, deep practices, and then hit a wall and go,
Mm-hmm.
wait a minute, I'm
Right.
doing all this and this is up again? What?
Yes.
Like, wait, right? And
Right.
so then it has to be the trauma healing work.
Right. And even with the trauma healing, I think that I see our work, our journey, and our healing as a spiral staircase going up, and our
Yes.
issues are on the sides, right? So every time we dive into healing and we make some progress, and it's beautiful, and yet we can only heal to where we are, to the level that we're at, and then we kind of round the bend, and there's that issue again. And I know so many people get discouraged. Sometimes I'm like, really? I'm talking about this thing again? Right? I've dealt with this before. And yes, you have. And so we're not going to diminish any of the work that you've done. It has gotten you to where you are. But
Yeah.
here's an opportunity for another layer, and to know yourself deeper, and to love yourself more.
Yes.
So don't be discouraged if you come across that again, the same thing.
Yes.
Because I think that we're here to learn certain lessons. And
Absolutely.
right, for me, it's the not enough. That's my thing. Not enough. Yep.
Interesting.
Um, so I've done a ton of work on it, and it still comes up sometimes. It
Yeah.
still comes up. And so
Yeah.
I look at it, it's another opportunity for me to go
Right.
deeper and to um, embody the magic that I really am.
Yes. Yes. I love that, because one of the reasons that this event is here is to help people to remember that who you are is okay, and where you're at is okay, and it's an invitation. It's not a one and done. Just like you,
Yeah.
like, I know there's stuff that comes up, for me, it's like, okay, so what's the information here?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Permission, giving myself permission to be human.
Mm-hmm.
Human.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that is a big one. To
I think,
fall, get back up.
yes. Yeah. To fall and get back up. Right. And what you said before is accepting who you are, and that is so healing. The original EFT statement, the very end of it was, I can deeply and completely love and accept myself, which is hard for some people to say. So it's kind of shifted over the years. Some people still use that, but the acceptance piece of it is so incredibly healing. If you can accept who you are and where you are right now, you can accept your situation. You can accept that maybe you're trying to make more money, or you're trying to launch a business and you feel like you're stuck. If you can just accept that, okay, this is where I am, and I'm just going to accept it. I'm just going to acknowledge it. and allow a little bit of neutrality to creep in there.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much power in that. Just the acceptance of what is.
Mm.
It doesn't mean that we are embracing that forever. It's a key to freedom.
Mm-hmm. That's so beautiful, Heidi. That's really beautiful. It's really powerful. That acceptance. I often say that children really need your acceptance and your authenticity.
Yes.
And you know, it's something that came to me many years ago is the phrase, whether a child comes to you as an adoption or through you.
Yeah.
It's a really high and holy walk.
Mm-hmm.
And to be accepted, because when, you know, as a mom, the child before us, when we have eyes to see and ears to hear, they bring to us what they need.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, it will activate within us the places where we have unmet needs.
Oh boy. Is that ever true? Yeah. Yeah. My daughter is one of my greatest teachers.
Yeah. How old is your daughter?
She is almost 18, so she's graduating from high school this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow.
She's just a beautiful soul.
Yeah. Isn't it? I really feel, you know, in terms of creating a powerful legacy, when there's moms like yourself, like the women here, when we are committed to having a different life experience, we set the field, we set the tone. It changes. It's maybe it feels a little slow, but it's that 100th monkey. You keep doing it. You keep coming from a place of love and compassion and acceptance. You keep healing yourself. And that doesn't mean that you're broken.
No. We're not broken.
We're not broken.
I view it as that deepest place within us where the divine is us, where we are the divine. Like that can never be changed. That is who we truly are. But again, I think I mentioned before, I see it as things get piled up on us and we lose sight of it. So we're not broken. We may act broken, right? Because of the beliefs that we've been taught or we absorbed, or the fears that we've absorbed that are not truth. So if we just kind of get all that yuck out of the way, we have a clear view to ourselves, or a more and more clear view.
Yeah. It takes so much courage and humility. I mean, you contacting or having your friend contact your birth mother.
It's really scary.
Yeah. You know, the monster, like that 100-pound phone and the monster on the other end.
Yeah.
In your mind, not really.
Because I didn't know what I was in for. It could have been my greatest fear of rejection. I was never wanted. And if that happened, I'm sure I would have dealt with it. I would have gone back to my coach and can I have 3 sessions a week?
Right, exactly.
But had she done that, had she felt that way, that she didn't want anything to do with me, it still would not have changed my core essence of who I am. Right? It might have affected my feelings and my beliefs about myself, but it really would not have affected the truth.
Wow. I just am taking that in. Everybody just take that in. That's the neon sign. It would not have affected my divine essence.
No.
Who I am at my core. Before I took this body on. Right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing the work that you're doing. Thank you for sharing about your experience.
And my passion. So thank you for the opportunity. I get lit up every time I get to speak about what I do. So thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, it is so my joy. And I just know and I trust that you give so much to the people that work with you, that they're very fortunate to have you with your very rich life experience coming forward to serve them.
Thank you. you.
And I know you have a free gift for everyone.
I do. I believe it's called Calm and Confident, and it's a tapping meditation. So for every time we step outside of our comfort zone, the known space, the subconscious tends to freak out and say, "Danger, danger! Step back! Don't do that." So for those times when you're reaching beyond what you're used to, you're reaching for your next level. This is a tapping meditation. A tap along. You're guided through to release the self-doubt and to come into a place of calm and self-trust and confidence, right?
Ah, that sounds wonderful. I'm going to download that. You know what? I tap in my car sometimes.
I do too. I do too.
I do two things in my car. I pray. I'm praying, and then I tap. And sometimes I'm wondering, like, when somebody sidles up alongside of me, and I'm like, tee, 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 tee. Yeah, it's so fun.
So funny. I once had a cousin who doesn't live in the area. She was driving down here, and we happened to pass, and she said, "I knew it was you because you were tapping."
Oh, that's beautiful. Gosh, have tapping will travel.
Have tapping will travel, right? Right at your fingertips.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much, Heidi.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful Mother's Day.
You too. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.